Hello, Music Multiverse listeners, and welcome back to Beyond Your Radio. And this is Unknown Sundays. It's time again to talk about something relatively unknown in the music multiverse that our listeners, music appreciators, might not have known about or been privy to in this huge world of music. And this one lands in the jazz world, well, the immense jazz world. And then this is a rabbit hole to go down. Please remember that this is an extension of our article section on beyondyourradio.com. So if you want the full details written there by me, some YouTube clips, other attachments, as well as a few other band links. Yeah. I'm still learning. You should be too. I'm still exploring. I don't know if you are too, but you should. I do it record stores, streaming, as well as virtual browsing and online record stores. There's always something that I've never heard of, and I've heard a lot. That's why when I hear some YouTube personalities say that they've listened to it all or know it all, I know they probably have not, or they're not even aware of the surface that they can't even scratch. An impossible statement, nonetheless. While I'm writing this article, I have 19 albums I have to listen to for the Feast of Joni Mitchell catalog review show coming up. Not to mention the album wars, the Beatles versus the Rolling Stones, that's happening this coming week. Have I listened to every Joni Mitchell album in my lifetime? That's not true, no. But I have to now because I'm engaged. And the exercise of going back has been very fruitful. Can't wait for that show, to be honest with you. Yet, here I am, taking on a band that I've never heard of on an Unknown Sunday with a pretty decent catalog and a jazz genre-less approach that's not going to make things easy. But I'm certain going to learn something about jazz fusion band that formed in 1999. And I have a feeling I'm going to be surprised by it all. And hopefully you will be too, because we're kind of doing this together. I don't have an ear up on you this time on this one. This is Gutbucket on Unknown Sundays 2025. Art Squonk Heroes, orchestrating berserker charts with layers of mature and immature arrangements, ambitious animal-like cruelty to instruments that defies most of the lines of jazz genres, as well as interlacing it with outside forces, making them categorically jazz, but often shattering apart like mercury into various factions. On one hand, you have an acid jazz bath going on. Another section is terrorizing a string instrument to the point of a seal howling through it murderously. Even sometimes I even feel like the saxophone is laughing at me at points. Another section is avant-garde like virtuosity ending in a bit of obnoxiousness, but somehow retaining its melody and form. That's right. The music attached to it is it's very fabric, okay? Is expanding and it's being, I don't know, pulled at any point it can, but it all comes back together just like Mercury does. The music is stretched to its very fabric end by punked up kicks and highly intelligent, raptured energy that continually pushes against reforming, but again comes together as one piece again, just like Mercury does. Gutbucket is not where you want to start your jazz listening experience. I liken this to wine. You can't start with a hard Chard or a battle-tested, aged, well refined Cabernet Sauvignon. That is unless you're some sort of taste testing savant. This is for the intense jazz ear, okay, that likes to be challenged unexpectedly, pushed away from well-formed melody to dazzling heights of improvisation and fantastic frenzies that are imaginative as world-class blended reds that obviously would have to have a Petit Verdot or a Syrah attached to them, of course. Pinkies up. So this is adventurism in jazz. Gutbucket is a disappearance of the standard lines and an all-out offensive research and search for fusion from an audio angle that maybe you haven't experienced yet. So where does my experience begin? Well, mine starts at this particular record here. This is a modest Proposal. Such a fine title and pretty nice work of art there. Let's see if I can get that to work. 2009 release, and it's the band's third album, if I'm not mistaken. Purchasing this from Laser's Edge. Yes, that's right. Ken Golden. You know, his laboratory of production as well as record sales, and truly the professor of Prague. So if he mentions an album like this, by God, I'm interested. Plus, the price was extremely competitive. I learn something every time I tune in to anything he's associated with, which is usually Sea of Tranquility. Shout out to those boys. I went back to see what was written when I bought this, but apparently I bought the last CD, so that's been removed. Maybe when he gets it back in, the article that he wrote or that he took from something is back there again. But I kind of think it had something to do with the word anarchic. All right, was utilized in jazz rock and possible fusion sound. These gentlemen were diving into head and ear first. So again, I said the price was right, and considering my love for just about almost all jazz styles and fusions and whatever else, like, you know, the Snarky Puppies, the Hedwig Malmsted Trio, Red Snapper, even go to Miles Davis. I think I got challenging works like Boren Der Club of Gore, 5 the Aerophant, and the Lovecraft Sextet, just to mention a bunch. So, but there's always an audio risk that's involved in when you do these things, and that's the temperance of what the band is ultimately going for as well. And to me, Gutbucket is going for a lot of this. So here it is, man. Here's where we get wild. I'm a fan of Squonk. Let's analyze this fantastical word for a moment that probably didn't have a true meaning in early language. It probably was more like a quote cloud in a Batman television show, right? Okay, maybe that's not as dated as it needs to be. Definitively speaking, all right? So it's a mythical creature, a cryptic or mythical beast from American folklore. Did you know that? I actually didn't know that. The Squonk is said to live in the hemlock forest of Pennsylvania. Really? It's described as a four-legged creature that with wart-covered skin that it's loose and slack, and the Squonk is said to be so ugly that it weeps in shame. All right, so you're telling me that Genesis wrote a song about a beast in Pennsylvania? Nah, I don't know. Not buying it. So Gutbucket here could be summoning this mythical creature in the song Carnivore. Sound. So squonk in a sound, a ruckus noise, like a squawk or honk combined. Ooh, now we're talking. Oh yeah, they got that one down pat. And they even go as far as to distort it at their will. Let's talk about the words. A word that describes something that is out of alignment, not square or distorted. Wait a minute, didn't I just state that a second ago? So, Gutbucket, bang, 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 right there. Explanations of Squonk. The Squonk is said to evade capture by dissolving into a pool of tears. There's a moment in Gutbucket's catalog that will dissolve some unwilling ears into tears. The Squonk's glands secrete compounds that have an unpleasant sulfuric odor and irritate a predator's eyes, sinus, membranes. Well, let me tell you, many brains will be on spatial dimensional alert listening to Gutbucket. The Squonk's loose skin may provide more surface area for its modified sebaceous glands, which could be an effective defense against predators again. Well, jazz loves more surface, that's for sure, right? So there again. The term chemical squonks is used for substances that can be stable in a solution but cannot be isolated. Well, like a brain born outside its head. Yes, that's right. That's a song. Audio panic is setting in now, I bet you. Immortalizations, a performance troupe. Yeah, that one I can't say I know anything about, but I bet that they got banjo player from Deliverance on there. A song by Genesis, check mark. The grandest squonk of them all, as far as I'm concerned. That's Progressive Rock Lovers Unite to Squonk Forever. The annual Squonkapalooza Festival held, where else? Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's right. Johnstown, to be exact. I don't know if John actually owns the town or not. Opening act, let's do this. I think it should be Sasquatch, right? Yeah. Maybe put a Genesis cover band in the middle and then Gutbucket. Yes, I'm there. All right. So all kidding aside, this is a blistering jazz band that utilizes instruments. They got space. They got outer space, like principles to undefine themselves from the typical audio explanation of jazz. Guitars, vibraphone, drums, electric upright bass, bass guitar, Hammond organ. You got Korg. You got Wurlitzer. Yeah. So if you add flute, we're in progressive fusion hell. But we don't add flute. We add alto saxophone, baritone saxophone, clarinet, bass clarinet, and another organ. No, not that kind. So yeah, everything but the flute, violin, and the kitchen sink. And actually, I was kind of hoping for a little metal, to be honest with you. The quartet is certainly running Squonk all over the place, and I was digging it. I'm telling you. So it was definitely rabbit hole time after this particular album. Again, I'll name that album to be A Modest Proposal. So where am I going from there? Well, usually I go back when it comes to these rabbit holes. But unfortunately, this means checking out what must be the humoristic, chaotic jazz squonker called Dry Humping the American Dream, album number 2. Couldn't exactly find album number 1, and I'll get to that in a second. Well, there's barely a clear favorite in the bunch. This one grabbed me more so right away, and I have a feeling it's because of the title. The title kind of set me up for this realm of radioactivity, of creativity I was going to be in for. Snarling Wrath of Angry Gods kicks it off, and I'm already saxed up in a glue leg alternative grunge jazz, which is up my audio humping 90s leg. Believe me. The album does not disappoint, and it certainly screeches, peels out, and devours with purpose, even for polka fans. That's right, we got a polka for you, the Polka of Doom. Yeah. Think Opeth ain't got no polka doom, right? Huh? Okay. Well, maybe they do. I don't have all of Opeth's catalog. And from there, I wanted to go back to the very beginning, and it's called Insomniac's Dream, which I was assuming was Insomniac's possessive dream. In actuality, it's Insomniac's Dream, all one word with the I capital and the D capital, which I'm assuming is one word for a reason, but I truly can't figure out why that is. So maybe if the band is watching this and enjoying the banter and my love for it, they'd love to come on the show. They would be amazing to talk to, considering the flexible and unbelievable characteristics of everything that they put out. So I originally thought it was Insomniac's Dream, and that's what had me a hard time finding it. So instead, I went to Sludge Test, which is, I think, definitely a more jazz rock album, has a lot more rock to it. And another winner jazz fused dinner, baby. All right. I'm truly having a good time with these guys. Even as I finally got to Insomniac's Dream, which has Sweet Tooth Bleeding Gums as the song that has that similar sludge rock. From the prior. So, but this is leading to me the point where I believe that they love to be sonically possessed. And that band certainly gets sucked into that from time to time. And when it overtakes them, so as to not speak, because a lot of the album, actually none of the albums have any singing whatsoever. They do have this yelling, cheering, and gasping that goes on, which is pretty entertaining. So this quartet is absolutely amazing in any instrumental awareness and sonic suicidal musical expression that they decide to take on. there's no telling if the saxes are going to take up the action, or is it going to be the incredible drumming that's going on, the bulging bass. The sure thing is it's going to be entertainment spasticism to some secret power that can only come from the bucket of their creative conscience. Even from a simple jazz guitar opening that comes from consumption from Insomniac's Dream, which manages to ultimately hang in there as a true jazz work, which they can do. I think maybe they find that too complacent. Or if when they want to go off the rails, like Dyslexic Messiah, Where's Your Dog? They're an absolute exciting ride, a talent to be discovered, admired, and put out there in the jazz multiverse. And here's what you've been expecting all along since I started this Unknown Sunday. It takes real guts to do something like this, empty one's expectational bucket, and they are one of the best I've ever heard at doing so. They spill their brand of jazz in such a unique way without totally disemboweling everything in the establishment. And that's a beautiful, fun, gutsy way to perform in the expansive, welcoming space of jazz. Art Squonk, baby, with Gutbucket on Unknown Sundays. Albums from Gutbucket: Insomniac's Dream in 2001, Dry Humping the American Dream in 2004, Sludge Test 2006, A Modest Proposal 2009. You saw that I have that one. Flock in 2011. And then recently, 2016 was Dance, which I believe is sort of live. I haven't gotten through all of that record yet. What did you think of Gutbucket? Did you know them? If you have, please let us know what we've missed and all that. Of course, if the band wants to chime in, go ahead. You have my ear. Hell, you have my jazz heart. Were you a jazz lover beforehand? Kind of if this is your if you just drove straight into this, certainly would love to hear your impression that you went in without snorkeling gear, or at least you had a rowboat with you, or maybe a life preserver. Please comment, leave us a note or two. I'd love it. Maybe click the like button. That's up to you. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got a great week ahead. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. Got articles, videos, podcasts relatively soon, albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio, thus a real music appreciation channel. Looking forward to the week. Thanks for watching and happy listening.